Break time. I'd watched him on and off during the meal, and I didn't have a clue why he was by himself. Well, as my dad always said, if you don't know the answer, ask a question. Of course, whenever I asked him a question, he usually told me to shut up and stop being such a wise ass. But Dad wasn't here, so I figured it was safe to ask a question. Who's the loner? I asked Torchy, leaning towards the kid sitting all by himself near the opposite wall. There was nothing that I could see about his clothes or appearance that would explain his isolation. Him? That's Trash. Nice name, I said. It's not like that. It's just that he trashes stuff. You know, breaks things. Yeah, said Cheater. I heard at his last school he smashed a whole classroom. Desks, chairs, windows. The kid's wacko. I looked back at Trash. It was hard to imagine why someone would break stuff for fun. Hey, Lucky said to Cheater, you shouldn't say wacko. It's not nice. Yeah, you're right, Cheater said. My mistake. He's not wacko, he's bonkers. Or maybe he's loony. How about deranged? I like that one. How'd you like to be called that? Lucky asked. I think I'd prefer insane, if you're going for technical terms, Cheater said, but flipped out has a nice ring to it, and let's not forget all those wonderful phrases that can be used to indicate a mind that is somewhat less than perfect. 1 card short of a full deck, 1 sandwich short of a picnic, off your rocker, out in left field. The list goes on and on. Hey, do you know where the word bedlam comes from? It was a crazy house in England. Listen, Lucky told him, his voice dropping so low I had to lean forward to catch the rest of it. If enough people call you crazy, maybe you'll begin to believe it, even if you aren't. All 3 of them started arguing about putting labels on people and about stuff like self-esteem. Everyone was talking at once. They sounded like a bunch of miniature psychiatrists. I guess they'd gotten a lot of that in class here. Personally, I thought they were all a little bit crazy, or wacko, or bonkers, but I kept my mouth shut. I couldn't do much about kids like Bloodbath who'd hate me because that was how they treated everyone, but I didn't want to turn the whole place against me. I didn't want to end up eating dinner by myself every day like that pathetic loser they called Trash. So I stayed quiet and let them go at it. Eventually, the argument faded out and everyone went back to eating. Well, Cheater said as we finished our meal, welcome to Edgeview. I was about to say thanks when a crash from across the room made me jump. Nobody else seemed surprised. I realized that Trash had thrown his plate down. It sounded like it had hit hard. I expected to see shattered pieces all over the floor, but the plate hadn't broken. He does that a lot, Torchy said. They give him a plastic plate, so at least it doesn't break. I watched Trash to see what he would do next. I wondered if he'd throw his fork, or maybe even his chair. Even though he was off on the other side of the room, I got ready to duck. But he just sat there. I couldn't see his face really well. He was hunched over, and his hair hung down kind of long on the side. But he didn't seem angry. He didn't seem happy either. He actually appeared kind of sad. Wacko, Cheater said. Lucky glared at him. Hold on 1 second. I have to answer your guys' chats. We're back. What do you guys do after dinner? I asked as we got up from the table. Oh, there's a TV in the lounge, Torchy said, but Bloodbath and his gang hang out there. The library's not bad, Cheater added, and on Friday nights we all play checkers, Lucky said. He cut Cheater off so quickly I was sure they were hiding something. That was okay. I couldn't get angry over a secret or two. They didn't know me yet, and they had no way to tell whether they could trust me, just like I didn't know yet if I could trust them. Yeah, Cheater said. That's what I was going to say. We play checkers. Yep, every Friday. That's what we do. A bell rang, signaling the end of dinner. Oh, crap, I said as it hit me. What? Torchy said. Nothing. It wasn't a thought I felt like sharing, but I just realized my whole life was going to be measured by bells. When we got back to the room, I borrowed a magazine from Torchy. He had a great selection. Monster stuff, sports, comics, and I thought some of them looked like they'd been snatched from a fire. Read for a while, then decided to go to sleep. We had to turn out the lights at 10 anyhow, so it wasn't like I was missing anything. Right about now, back home, I'd be saying goodnight to my sister. Good night, you spoiled brat. And she'd be saying goodnight to me. Good night, you creepy little twerp. It was sort of a ritual with us. Funny how in one day, home had turned into back home. Somewhere else, somewhere I wasn't. I could hear Torchy across the room breathing. Out in the hall, it sounded like someone was wrestling. The walls shook with the thud of a body hitting hard. Maybe it was a fight. I didn't care. It had nothing to do with me. Tomorrow was Monday. I'd get to find out firsthand what classes were like. Maybe these teachers would be better. Maybe I could get along with them. I closed my eyes and thought about the places I'd been before Edgeview. All of a sudden, the other schools didn't seem that bad. Sure, there'd been a lot of jerks to deal with, but I guess there were jerks everywhere. Maybe I was a jerk myself for getting kicked out so often. But this was it. Edgeview was the last place that would take me. This was the place for the kids who had been thrown out of all the regular schools where they lived. 6 counties in the northern part of the state had gotten together to make this dump. There was nowhere to go from here. Edgeview was my dead end.